Studies show that millennials are reaching the breaking point, facing the cold reality that they'll never have the two-bedroom, double-wide garage home, or realizing that times are running out to have kids and the idea of waiting until the budget aligns might never end up happening. In this video, let's spend some time sitting down and discussing the consequences of what it's like growing older in the modern day, as well as focusing on the common middle-aged person and how much it absolutely sucks to be them right now. And if you personally have been finding yourself enjoying my daily doomer commentaries over here on the page, feel free to like, comment your thoughts and opinions below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to the handful of you who have been checking out those links down below in the description. Those are some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Millennials aren't successful. They're lazy, entitled narcissists that still live at home with their parents. And to that I say, yeah, we are. Because we've nailed it. A 2012 study showed that more people aged 18 to 29 live with their parents than with a spouse. That doesn't make us dumb and lazy. That makes us smart and lazy. Food, laundry, rent, it's all free. And you don't even have to put out. Well, you can, but it is frowned upon.
Now, being that I am a 25-year-old full-time American citizen and have been ever since I was, hopped out the womb and I was born myself, I can definitely guarantee that there is a stigma in terms of living at home with your parents, especially once you reach the older ages, like mid-20s, later 20s. So once you reach 30, what are you really doing? That's kind of what people are thinking. You should have your shit together. You should really know what you're doing. You shouldn't be continuing to be in the nest. It's like, when birds raise their little chicklets in the nest. You want them to be, out of the nest. Why are you still in the nest? What are you doing here? And fair enough. I actually, myself, I moved out like 18 and a half. I graduated, and then I waited the 3 months throughout the summer, and then I moved out the beginning of the next fall. So I actually kind of did experience moving out right away. I did have a girlfriend at the time, so I was able to split my costs and stuff, which was very, very helpful. Plus, this was back in like 2018, 2019, before the world got a little bit crazy, so prices were slightly adjusted differently, but now then things are a little bit, wonky. But either way, speaking about back then, so it was somewhat reasonable. Then around the age of 20, me and my girlfriend split up, and I lived on my own for about 4 or 5 years. And it was hard. It was hard, and I definitely felt the rising cost of living, the way everything increased around me, my bills specifically. And you never really get to really do much when you're working, trying to find more jobs. You end up just when you kind of try to avoid your expenses because it's just such a down, depressing thing to do. And then when you finally do break it down, it really breaks you, like things have to change. But that's going to take another 6 months to a year to change. So I ended up, over the last year, selling all my stuff, moving back in with family, and I've been jumping around to a couple different family member houses because, I'm still young in the age of 25, where I can take these sort of riskier leaps. But there definitely is a stigma in terms of, like, what are you doing, Josh? Why don't you really have your shit together? There's this whole thing where, I'm sorry, you'll figure it out. Like, dude, what do you mean I'll figure it out? I'm figuring it out like everybody else is all the time. And I know, feel free to let me know if you are, outside the States. I know that definitely is. I feel like it's more accustomed to live at home with your parents and save up money and use that, what you will. But even here in the States, I can definitely guarantee that even when I move back in with family, I'm still paying rent. So this whole, idea where, you move back in with family, you get free, service by like laundry and dishes and free rent. No, most people still move in with family. They still have to pay rent. They have to help out around the house. If anything, it's still like living on your own. It's just with a reduced cost, which not everybody has the chance to do that. I'm very blessed to be able to do that. But even with that being said, a lot of people, especially my age and especially older than me, wish they could afford their own lifestyle, which this just seems to be getting more and more priced out. So feel free to let me know your thoughts, opinions, and your current experience down below in the comments. Always love to read those, and let's move on.
This child-free trend that is going on with Gen Z, they openly will say they don't want kids. And I used to years ago think that people without kids they were super selfish, and now I've changed my views. I now think that it is selfish to have kids that you don't truly want. I truly think that some boomer parents had kids and they really didn't want to be parents. It was just society telling them to be parents. I think now millennials and Gen Z are openly saying, I do not want kids. I want to travel. I want to have more money for myself and my husband. I want to have a nicer house, have a nicer car, eat out, have nice food, nice things. They're open about saying, I'm child free. And I respect that. I actually think that's a very mature decision. It's mature for one to say that. and it's actually not selfish.
The idea of having kids, I feel like it's just a natural, it's just nature's instinct to want to continue your generation, to have offsprings, to continue your legacy, your last name, especially as a man. But it seems like financially, what's really the point anymore if you're just going to be struggling more than you already are? And then at the same time, if you really have any empathy, or if you're able to put yourself in other people's shoes, it's really fair to give your child a life if you know you're not going to be able to really provide them a very good existence. And that might sound very dark and depressing, but it is the modern day reality for many people in the modern day society, where it's like we're just priced out of having children. I myself, I always wanted a kid kind of when I was younger, and now the older I get, it's like the whole idea of it is just nothing. It's not like this whole like joy in the world is just another expense, which is terrible to think, but that's how a lot of Gen Z millennials look at having children, even having vehicles. If you can live within the city, many Gen Z would rather just take Ubers and work from home and stuff because it's still cheaper. If you think about car insurance, gas mileage, and consistent maintenance along all the stuff, all your different assets. Even buying a home, a lot of Gen Z would rather rent, having to keep up with all this certain, like appliances, malfunctions, all this stuff. So anyway, what is your thoughts and opinions? Do you still think owning your house is better than renting, or is that's just kind of a conspiracy theory to get everybody to own nothing and be happy? So either way, let me know in the comments. Let's continue.
The average American, they're not really getting richer because a lot of Americans accumulate debt to buy consumer goods. So they don't have any assets to show for the debt. They just have the debt. Now, yeah, they have some used clothes, used electronics, used furniture, but that stuff is worth, 10 cents, 20 cents on the dollar. Go on eBay and try to sell all your used stuff. You're not getting top dollar for your stuff. So it's not, they're not getting a benefit from inflation, even though some of their debt is wiped out. Their cost of living is rising so fast that they're still suffering.
Now, there's always this common debate, especially within the United States of America, where consumerism is the common result of why everybody is so broke all the time, being that how can you ever have any money saved if you blow your whole paycheck as soon as you get it, or even before you get it most of the time. With those new Klarna apps, you can do pay later type of shit. Either way, it's crazy to think how easy it is to spend your paycheck, or even loan money. There's the payday loan apps. You can really spend your paycheck before you even get it these days, which a long time ago, not even that long ago, actually, like a decade or so ago, was never really the case. So maybe technology is starting to become the downfall of society in some senses, but I definitely think maybe if you make an app where you're getting the pay off the the interest of every transaction, maybe you're winning then. Shut out capitalism. Not that I own any of this shit. I'm actually getting I'm still a victim of it myself, just like everybody else watching the video. But it's considerably, do you think that the modern day is really the way that society is supposed to be ran? Do you think we're kind of just getting corrupted within all the systems around us? Do you think that we're just products of the problem? What are your thoughts and opinions? Feel free to let me know down below in the comments. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this video about how society is a lie. We're just in one big pyramid scheme. Everything you know is a conspiracy theory, and you're not even yourself. You're whoever they wanted you to be. Either way, maybe that's too far, and I want you, I'm not trying to break your mind here, but feel free to let me know what conspiracy theory you most commonly believe in the comments, or you have faith in the comments. Maybe it's even stronger if you use the word faith. Either way, I definitely appreciate all you guys who go above and beyond and continue to support me over here. Checking out those links down below in the description. You guys are the best. Those are some of the best ways to support me and the content around here, as well as everybody who continues to comment your thoughts, opinions below, and subscribe, guys. We are rising up in the subscribers, so I'm so glad to have a couple of you just hanging out around here with me. So feel free to check out all my other long list of catalog of videos. I have a bunch of other stuff, and feel free to continue stopping by for my daily Doomer commentaries, as well as my evening live streams. You can just come up around here and just hang out with the community. So that's a great way to get to know us. So definitely appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one.